Hi, Professor Watts. This is Jacqueline Ferreter. So I'm here to do the video recording of the final part 3, option 2. So the first question that I chose was question 5. Find the equation in terms of x of the line through the points -1, 5, and 2, -4. So the first thing that you would have to do is find the slope. So in order to do that, you would do the formula is okay. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, that would be -4 minus 5 over 2 minus -1, which would equal -9 over 3, which equals -3. The second thing you would do is find the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So for this case, you would use the point -1, 5, and then you would know now that the slope m equals 3. So therefore, you would have y minus 5 equals -3x minus 3. So from there, you would go y equals -3x plus 2. Y equals -3x plus 2. And that would be the answer. The second question I chose was question 18. That question is the function k of x shown in the table below is a linear function. Find its slope, y-intercept in formula in slope-intercept form. So here they give you this chart. So what I did was I chose 2 points from the chart. So I chose -6, 38, and then I also chose -4, 26. So then once you find your points, you would have to find the slope, which is the same function formula that we did in the last problem. So it would be 26 minus 38 over -4 minus -6, which would give you -12 over 2, which equals -6. So therefore, your slope is -6. Now, once you figure this out, you have to solve for the slope-intercept form, which is k of x equals mx plus p. So to fill in the blanks for this formula, you could pick a point. So I chose to pick the point 0, 2. So then from there, you would plug in your information. So 2 would equal -6, 0, plus b, which would give you b would equal 2, and that would be your y-intercept. Okay, then, so there, from everything we figured out, you would have your slope m would equal -6. Your y-intercept equals 2. And then the formula for the function would be k of x equals negative 6x plus 2. Formula. Okay. So big. Okay. Next question I chose was question 6. And that is decide whether, or I'm sorry, I don't know if I showed you up close the answers for the last one. Okay, question 6. Describe whether the two lines below are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So it's negative 5x plus y equals negative 5. And then the second equation is x plus 5y equals negative 12. So what you would have to do is convert these to the slope-intercept form. So for the first equation, how you would convert that is you would do y equals 5x minus 5. So the slope m would equal 5. For the second equation, you would get 5y equals negative x minus 12, which from there you would get y equals negative minus 12. So y would equal negative 1 x over 12 over 5 minus 12 over 5. Therefore, 5, negative 1. So 5 and negative 1 over 5 are negative reciprocals. So that would mean that the line would be perpendicular. So okay. Next question that I chose is question 7. It is find an equation for the line that passes through the point P minus 1 minus 2 and is parallel to the line negative 3x plus 5y equals negative 5. Use exact values. So at first what you would have to do is convert this to the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So then looking at the numbers that you are given, you would do negative 3x plus 5y equals negative 5. From there, you would break it down into 5y equals 3x minus 5. Ay, ay, ay. Equals 3x minus 5. which would give you y equals 3 over 5 x minus 1 minus 1. So then your slope would be 3 over 5. Okay, the next thing you would do is parallel lines have the same slopes. So the line that we are trying to find would have the same slope. So you would use the point slope form, which is y1, sorry, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So you would plug in your digits. So m equals 3 over 5. Y equals -1. Actually, sorry. Y1 equals -2. X1 equals -1. So from there, you would do y minus -2, which would equal 3 over 5 x minus -1. So from here, you would do y plus 2 equals 3 over 5 x plus 2. X plus 1, sorry. From that, you would get, you would convert it to the slope intercept form. So y plus 2, y plus 2 equals 3 over 5x plus 3 over 5. So from there, you would get y equals 3 over 5x plus 3 over 5 minus 2, which would give you y equals 3 over 5x minus 7 over 5. Okay. Okay. The next question I chose is question 19, which is statins are used to keep cholesterol in check and are a top selling drug in the US. The equation S minus 1 plus 6x gives the number of sales S of statins in billions of dollars X years after 1998. According to this equation, how much did people in the US spend on statins in the year 2014? So basically, your equation is S minus 1.6S equals equals 5.6. So from there, S would equal the sales, which is in billions, and X equals the number of years since 1998. So now you would have to find X for the year 2014. So in order to find that, you would do X equals 2014 minus 1998. And that comes out to 16. So having 16, you would plug that into your equation. So you would do S minus 1.6 times 16 would equal 5.6. So break it down even more. You would do 5 minus 25.6, which would equal 5.6. Therefore, S equals 5.6 plus 25.6. So S would come out to $31.2 billion. Okay. Okay. My next question is question 20, which states a town's population has been growing linearly. In 2003, the population was 28,000. The population has been growing by 700 people each year. Write an equation for the population P X years after 2003. So basically, your initial value would be from 2003, the population was 28,000 people. The rate of change would be how the population grows by 700 people each year. So X would equal the number of years after 2003. P would equal the population, which is 28,000. And then they want you to write a linear equation. So going from here, you would do P would equal mx plus b. So that would mean m would equal 700. And b is 21,000. And so your equation would be P equals 700x plus 28,000. Okay, the next question was use the formula to find the population in 2009. So for that, you would do your x now would change. So you would have to do x equals 2009, and then you would subtract that from 2003, which gives you a value of 6. So then you would add that to the equation. P equals 700 times 6 plus 28,000, which equals 32,200. So for this, your P equals 700x plus 2800, and the population in 2009 would equal 32,200. Question 27. A man has 26 coins in his pocket, all of which are dimes and quarters. If the total value of his change is 485 cents, how many dimes and how many quarters does he have? So for this question, what you would do is, so dimes would be D, quarters would equal Q. So given the information we have, we could make two equations. So one would be that D plus Q would equal 26. The second equation we could make would be 10 D plus 25 quarters based on their value would be, then you would minus the 485, which the total was. So that would be equation 2. So from there, you would solve the first one, D. Okay. D equals 26. That's Q. So then you would do 10, 26 minus Q plus 25Q would equal 485. Then from there, you would do 260 minus 10Q plus 25Q would equal 485. From there, you could reduce it to 15Q equals 225. So then you would have to solve for D. So D would equal 26 minus Q, which would equal 26 minus 15, which would equal 11. And then, therefore, you would get that the number of dimes is 11. And the number of quarters is 15. Okay. 11, 15. Okay, last question. Question 27. The admission fee at an amusement park is $1.5 for children and $4 for adults. On a certain day, 313 people entered the park, and the admission fees collected totaled $832. How many children and how many adults were admitted? So, in order to solve this, you would have to make two different equations. So, we would know, so the children would be C, adults would be A. So we would know that C plus A would equal 313, because that's how many people entered the park. From there, we would have to figure out the money. So we would, yeah. Oh, so we would have to do 1.5C plus 4A, which would equal 832. So from here, we would break it down. We would solve equation 1. So in order to solve that, we would say C would equal A minus 313 minus A. Then you would substitute that into your second equation. Therefore, you would have 1.5 times 313 minus A plus 4a would equal 832. From there, you would multiply, so it would be 469.5 minus 1.5a plus 4a, which would equal 832. After that step, you would reduce it to 469.5 plus 2.5a would equal 832. Therefore, 2.5a would equal 832 minus 469.5, which would equal 362.5. So then A would equal 362.5 over 2.5, which would equal 145. However, then you would have to solve for C. So C would equal the 313 minus the 145. Therefore, the number of adults is 145. 145. And for the kids, the number of children would be 168. Okay, well, thank you again and have a good night.